نستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. ما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كلام الله وأحسن الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار ثم أما بعد. Indeed, the best of the words are the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the best of the guidance and the only accepted guidance in Islam is the guidance of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the worst of the matters are the newly invented matters in Islam. And every newly invented matter in Islam is indeed an innovation, and every innovation will misguide us, and every misguidance will take us to one destination, Jahannam wa sa'at masira. أعاذنا الله وإياكم منها. قولوا آمين. ما بعد, my dear respected brothers and sisters, today I want to talk about an act of ibadah that the majority of us, if not all of us, have neglected or even forgotten about it completely. When we think about ibadat, we're thinking about prayers, we're thinking about fasting, we're thinking about sadaqah, we're thinking about hajj, umrah, being obedient to your parents. But an act of ibadah that has been an obligation upon us, not just for imams and scholars, and that is the ibadah of da'wah in Allah, preaching and teaching the deen of Islam. A lot of us, we come to the United States and we've been here for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Some of us 60 years have been here. And we come here from overseas to improve our livelihood, to improve our education, to get better health care, to get better, opportunities. We come, we build our homes, we build our savings, our 401ks, our cars, our businesses. And while this is all happening, our next door neighbors that live right next door to us are non-Muslims. Our co-workers are non-Muslims. Our friends are non-Muslims. Our classmates are not Muslims. They're all non-Muslims. And they may know that you are a Muslim based on your name. But what do they know about Islam? The majority of non-Muslims, what they know about us Muslims are 3 to 4 to 5 things. 1, we don't drink alcohol. We don't eat pork. We pray 5 times a day. We fast a month throughout the year. That's mainly all they know. Or women have to cover up. I remember there was a time where I was called and I was told that there is a sister in one of the universities. Matter of fact, somewhere here in Maryland, without mentioning the university's name, and was told that a sister is okay converting to Islam, but she has 2 main reasons that she does not want to convert to Islam. 2 things that are stopping her. And I asked, okay, sure, let's speak with her and see what her problem about Islam is. And you would be surprised to hear what were the 2 things that she knew about Islam that she did not want to convert to Islam. I spoke to her and said, sister, what's going on? What is preventing you? What don't you like about Islam? And her answer was 2 things. She says, 1, I'm not going to change my outfit, the way I'm dressed. I'm not going to put on a hijab. I'm not going to wear a burqa. I'm not going to wear... I said, okay, fair enough, that's fine. We have Muslims that pray 5 times a day. They don't wear that. Doesn't mean they're right. It's still wrong. But that should not be a reason to prevent you from going to Islam. You would not believe what her second reason was. And I said, what is your second reason? She said, I am not okay with my husband having 4 wives. And I said, please tell me a man in America that has 4 wives. And can you imagine the thought process that crossed her mind about Islam? About those 2 things that were a reason why she does not want to go to Islam or enter into Islam. What is our job? What have we done? What is our duty? What work have we done? We cannot expect one imam that is already taking the lead of an entire community. Classes, khutbas, weekend schools, family therapy, youth counseling, youth activities, outreach program, to go and give da'wah to all of these people. Even the Prophet ﷺ, the greatest of mankind, the best da'iyah and the most knowledgeable person that has ever walked on earth, needed an army of Sahaba to go and help spread the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And those Sahaba were not adults with white beards. There were kids that were 9, 8, 11, 10 years old. We're talking about Abdullah ibn Abbas. When the Prophet ﷺ passed away, Ibn Abbas was only 15 years of age. The great scholar that the Prophet ﷺ praised, that he is the most knowledgeable companion that knows the Quran and his tafsir. The Prophet died at 63, Ibn Abbas was 15 years old. So imagine when he praised Ibn Abbas, how old was he? 13, 12? We're talking about Mu'adh ibn Jabal, who the Prophet points at Mu'adh ibn Jabal and says, Mu'adh ibn Jabal, أَعْلَمُ النَّاسِ بِالْحَلَالِ وَالْحَرَامِ, is the most knowledgeable companion that knows what is halal and what is haram, about the rulings of what is right and what is wrong, which is the questions that we get today a lot of times. Sheikh, is this halal? Is this haram? You know, in the hadith of Prophet in Bukhari and Muslim, from hadith Nu'man ibn Bashir, that the Prophet mentions al-halal bayin, halal is clear, wal-haram bayin, haram is clear, وَبَيْنَهُمَا أُمُورٌ مُشْتَبِهَاتٌ, in between it are gray matters, unclear. لَا يَعْلَمُهُنَّ كَثِيرٌ مِنَ النَّاسِ, not a lot of people know the difference. If he says not a lot of people know, tells us that there are few people that know. The top of those few people was Mu'adh ibn Jabal, who was also a young teenager. We're talking about Zayd ibn Thabit at 17 years of age that led an army that had Abu Bakr behind him, Umar behind him, Uthman behind him, Khalid ibn Walid behind him, Ali ibn Abi Talib behind him. And look at our youth and our community today and our adults today. These people, these non-Muslims that know nothing about Islam, when they answer to Allah Yawm al-Qiyamah, they will say, Wallah, this person was my neighbor for 10 years, was my coworker for 5 years, was my classmate all throughout college. I've never heard anything about Islam from them. Just a couple of days ago, what was the holiday that happened 3-4 days ago? Christmas, right? What happens what do they believe in Christmas? That Jesus was born. How does Allah describe in the Quran that day or that belief? تكاد السماوات يتفطرن منه وتنشق الأرض وتخر الجبال هدا أن دعوا للرحمن ولدا. That the mountains, the heavens and the earth almost collapsed out of anger, pain, shock, disappointment that there could be someone or some people that believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a child. And what do we do today? We go and tell them Merry Christmas and we congratulate them for their holidays. Wallahi, this is such a very serious matter that we need to act upon this. We need to educate ourselves first. As the Arabic statement states, فَاقِدُ الشَّيْءِ لَا يُعْطِيهِ. If you don't have something, you cannot give. Someone called me 6-7 months ago and said, Sheikh, I have a coworker that has a question that I cannot answer him. Can you answer him for me? Wallahi, true story. I said, sure. I got on a call with this coworker. What's the question? And he says that he asked him, the coworker is asking, why do you Muslims wear a white towel and walk around a black building multiple times? I want you all to think of this question and the answer. And don't answer me just by saying because it's Hajj, this is what we do. But why do you do it? What is the reasoning behind it? What is the reasoning behind the white cloth? This is a pillar of your deen. This is one of the 5 pillars of your deen. If you cannot answer this question, shame on you. You cannot be walking around with a Muslim identity and not be able to answer the basics of your 5 main pillars of Islam. If it was a deeper matter regarding inheritance, how do you divide inheritance? If it was a matter of divorce, if it was a matter of a very deep fiqh matter, those are different questions that yes, scholars can answer those. But to not be able to answer your basic questions, or why do you fast 30 days a year, a month of the year, 30 days a year, the reasoning behind it, what are we supposed to accomplish behind it? Some Muslim brothers and sisters call every single year and ask imams the same exact question, and then the same people. Sheikh, does toothpaste break your fast? Sheikh, does cologne break your fast? Sheikh, does inhalers break your fast? The same people that, like, when do you plan on learning these things about your own deen? And if we don't know these about our own religion, how can we expect to teach those around us who are seeking the light and the blessing of Islam? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Ali Imran, He says, وَلْتَكُنْ مِنْكُمْ أُمَّةٌ يَدْعُونَ إِلَى الْخَيْرِ وَيَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَيَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. That there should be amongst you a small group of people, ummah, that call for the good and forbid the evil, teaching people about Islam. وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. Those are the successful ones. Few ayat later in the same surah, 6, 7 ayat later, Allah praises the entire Muslim ummah, says, كُنْتُمْ خَيْرَ أُمَّةٍ أُخْرِجَتْ لِلنَّاسِ. You were the best of the nations that were sent to mankind. Why, Ya Allah? What makes us so special? He says, تَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَتَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ. You call for the good and you forbid the evil. That is our first description. Then He says, وَتُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ. And you believe in Allah. All the previous of the prophets, they believed in Allah. But they didn't have the characteristic of calling for the good, giving da'wah, and forbidding the evil. Do you know why today we don't forbid the evil when we see something wrong? Listen to this point. We today don't forbid the evil when we see something wrong. We don't tell people they're wrong out of fear of being judged. We're afraid of being judged, that we are judgmental. I'm going to repeat it one more time and explain it. We are afraid of being told or being judged, yarhamukallah. We're afraid of being judged that we are judgmental. Today you go find someone, Muslim or non-Muslim, they're doing something wrong and say, man, why are you doing this? And what is their first response? Are you judging me? That's the society that we are in today. So we don't forbid that evil anymore. We don't tell people they're wrong. We see Muslims that are doing wrong, that are doing drugs, that are drinking, and no one comes and speaks to them. Say, no, just let them be them. And now we have, mashallah, this whole fitna going on with this LGBTQ disgusting filth. And wallahi, I am hearing Muslim parents say, if that is what my son chose, I have to support him or her. SubhanAllah. And then we have Muslim youth today that are saying to us imams, what is wrong with accepting our non-Muslims that are gay or lesbian or LGBT, a part of that alphabet community? What's wrong with that? They're not harming anybody, it's just them. Prophet Lut alayhi salam's wife was called a kafira, was punished with them for not committing the act. She did not do the act. She never did the act. What does she do? She just supported them. That's why it shocks me when you find one of the top tier scholars in America. I will not mention his name, but every single one of you know him. That comes publicly on live television and is asked about this question, or on a live lecture. And when he's asked about this, his response is, we cannot support, or we do not support the moral act, but we can support their civil rights. How do you expect your youth or even adults to even distinguish such a statement. No, we do not support the moral act. We do not support the civil rights. We do not support any aspect of it. We are Muslims. We have an identity. We have a deen. We have legislations that tell us this is haram, this is wrong. It is shocking to see the Christians, the Catholic Church in California, preventing the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, from coming into their church because she supports LGBT. A Christian church. Tell her you cannot come here anymore if you support this filth. And we're saying, no, it's okay because we're a minority. How long have we been here in this country, Muslims? Centuries? And until this very day, I want someone right now to raise their hand and tell us, we Muslims, we have one day dedicated for us. Not even Eid. Nationally. Yes, some states are starting to recognize Eid, like New York and other states. LGBT come here, 2 minutes ago, and get an entire month of June for them? An entire month of June to recognize them. And we Muslims don't have 1 day, 1 hour to recognize us. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we trying to achieve? Stack up your bank accounts? Build up your house? Build up your business? How do you want to answer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala yawm al-qiyamah? How are we going to answer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Brothers and sisters, wallahi, this is a huge responsibility that we must really uphold. Sheikh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, he has a very beautiful quote. He says, "Man aasha li nafsihi faqad yartah." He who lives his life worried about himself, his life will be simple and brief. Why? Because all he or she is worried about is themselves. Their personal bills, their family, and that's it. You go to work, 8 to 5, you're done, you gotta feed your kids, and that's it. وَلَكِنَّهُ يَعِيشُ صَغِيرًا وَيَمُوتُ صَغِيرًا. You will live small and unknown, and you will die small and unknown. Let me dissect that statement for you. What does it mean by living small and dying small? I'm coming to you guys right now from Alexandria, Springfield, Virginia, 40-minute drive. If this evening, God forbid, this evening tonight, one of you were to pass away, I would not hear about your death. I won't know about it. I'm only 40 minutes away, but I won't know about it. And if I die in Virginia, 40 minutes away, you will not hear about it. Why? Because we're not as active. We're unknown. But let someone known and active, a great scholar, a great imam, someone who's known to be a humanitarian, pass away all the way in Pakistan, India, China, Australia, Africa, Europe, South America, Canada, the whole world. The entire social media will talk about them because of the legacy they've left behind. You choose which side of history you want to be on. For those who came in a little early or a little late, may have seen outside there is a booth, a table with Qur'ans and a banner. I'm coming here on behalf of the Furqan Foundation. Plenty of you may have heard of them due to us being here in the past. This is my first time as their representative coming here, but we've had imams come in the past. At the Furqan Foundation, we print these English and Spanish copies of the Quran. The best translated copies of the Quran. I don't say this because I work with them. I said this because of the language itself in it. Go pick up the Noble Quran or the English translated Qurans that you have on yourselves. Look at the English texture. It's more of the Shakespeare English. Very old, that not even us can relate to it. Dr. Umar Khattab, who wrote and translated this, used very modernized and simplified English for today's generation to be able to understand and relate to it. Plenty of scholars here in America and overseas have testified to the linguist and the simplicity of the language of this copy of the Quran in English and a Spanish copy, which we have both in our communities here in the DMV area that need simple copies to look at. These copies, they may take it and they may never read it at the moment. They may put it in the shelves, they may leave it in their car. One day they may go through it. And one ayah could change their lives like Umar ibn Khattab. An ayah changed their lives, his life, and made him the second greatest companion of all mankind. Our job is to deliver. ليس عليك هداهم ولكن الله يهدي من يشاء إنما عليك البلاغ. All you have to do is just preach and teach. In today's society, you're not a scholar, that's fine. Help in distributing these copies to your friends. Let them take a look at it. That person you may never know when or if they convert to Islam. A copy you sponsor today may go to California, may go to New York, may go to Delaware, may go to Denver, a different state. The person who receives this copy will never know who paid for it, for sure. The person, you, will never know who it went to. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَمَا كَانَ رَبُّكَ نَسِيًّا. Everything, وَكُلَّ شَيْءٍ أَحْصَيْنَاهُ فِي إِمَامٍ مُبِينٍ. Everything is documented. Yawm al-Qiyamah, you stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we've all heard of the hadith where the Prophet mentions, يُؤْتَى بِرَجُلٍ مِّنْ أُمَّتِي عَلَى رُؤُوسِ الْأَشْهَادِ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. A man from my ummah will come Yawm al-Qiyamah in front of all of mankind, from the Muslim ummah. And you and I, we all have one book, Yawm al-Qiyamah, that we have. He comes with 99 books. Each book, the length of it is where your eyesight ends. There was no buildings right now, you may be able to see 5 miles ahead. That's the length of it. Each of those books are filled with sins. There's not one hasan inside of it. And Allah will ask him, "Oh my servant, are all these sins yours?" He will say, "Yes, Ya Rabb." "Did my angels oppress you? Did they write anything there that does not belong to you?" "No, Ya Allah." أَلَكَ عِنْدَنَا حَاجَةٌ. Is there anything missing that you want to discuss? You want to appeal this? "No, Ya Rabb." قَالَ فَتُخْرَجُ لَهُ بِطَاقَةٌ. A card is brought out that has La ilaha illallah written on it. And now it's time to weigh those 99 books and that small card. Innocently and naively, he will say, "Ya Allah, Ya Rabb, وَمَا تَفْعَلُ هَذِهِ الْبِطَاقَةِ مَعَ كُلْ هَذِهِ السِّجِلَّاتِ." What will this card do with all these books? And it will be weighed on the scale. And what was the outcome? فَرَجَحَتْ بِهِمْ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. You could come Yawm al-Qiyamah with so many sins, and we all have those sins, so many wrongs. But a man is brought to you, or a woman is brought to you that entered into Islam with La ilaha illallah. That hasan alone could be the changing factor. That's why Ibn al-Qayyim, rahimahullah, he says, if Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, radiallahu ta'ala anhu, if he had no deeds on the planet, but the fact that out of the 10 mubashirin bil Jannah, the 10 companions that are guaranteed Jannah, Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, Ali, Talha, Zubair, Sa'ad, Sa'id, Abu Ubaidah, Amr ibn Jarrah, and Sa'ad ibn Abu Waqqas. Those 10. 6 of them entered into Islam because of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. Ibn al-Qayyim said that if Abu Bakr were to go to Yawm al-Qiyamah with just those 6 men and the deeds they've done, with no other deed, that would have been enough for him. Imagine an impact you do. This copy you see here cost $2 to print out. $2 to print out. These platforms, you see a box right here, and you'll see boxes outside. A box here has 52 copies of the Quran in it. Do the math, 52 times $2 is $104. Brothers and sisters, last year I was told that this community generously was able to raise what is worth 150 boxes, which is $15,000. Today, that is not our goal. We're not coming here to ask for $50,000. I know you guys are already trying to pay for the land in your community. We're here simply asking for $10,000, which is 100 boxes. 100 boxes of the Quran. Each and every one of you were to come up with $100, $200 after the khutbah, and come outside to the table, inshallah ta'ala. $100 is about $3 a day, give or take. For $4 a day, that's a cup of coffee. It's a sandwich that you may buy. 10 boxes. We ask sometimes, brothers, if you can sponsor 10 boxes for $1,000, divide that between 10 months, it's about $100 a month. Divided by 12 months, an entire year, that's about $83 or $86 a month. Consider a phone bill for 1 year. But you are passing out 500 copies of the Quran that go to people that if you can come Yawm al-Qiyamah with just one person that converts. And at the end, it all comes up to your niyyah and your intention. Make a niyyah and say, Ya Rabb, I have done Umrah, I have done Hajj, I prayed, I fasted, but I've never participated in the da'wah aspect. And I want to make that participation. I want to have an impact on humanity. I want to do something that can leave a legacy behind. I want to come Yawm al-Qiyamah and see someone converted to Islam. Brothers and sisters, again, our goal, inshallah ta'ala, we won't be doing an active fundraiser where you ask people to raise their hands, but I would like, brothers, if maybe 10 of you are generous enough to come outside and say, brother, here's $1,000. Wallahi, if I reach $10,000, I'm packing my table and I'm leaving. That is all I need. The rest are good to go. But I want every single person to contribute, even if it is $2 for one copy. And I'm sure we can afford more than that, inshallah ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from us. I don't know what the khutbah starts at 45. We have Brother Muhammad Dawood, who passed away earlier today in Pakistan. He was the father of Brother Muhammad Rashid, Rashid Butt. Please make dua for him and his family. Also, Brother Salamat Ali's wife is going through multiple complications. Please make dua for her. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to have mercy on our brother Muhammad Dawood. Allahumma aghfir lahu warhamhu wa'afihi wa'afu anhu. Allahumma akrim nuzulahu ووسع مدخله واجعل قبره روضة من رياض الجنة ولا تجعلها حفرة من حفر النيران. اللهم إن كان محسنا فزد في إحسانه وإن كان مسيئا فتجاوز عن سيئاته. اللهم جازه بالحسنات إحسانا وبالسيئات عفوا وغفرانا. اللهم ارحمنا إذا صرنا إلى ما صار إليه. اللهم ارحمنا إذا صرنا إلى ما صار إليه. اللهم ارحمنا إذا صرنا إلى ما صار إليه. اللهم صبر أهله. اللهم صبر أهله. اللهم اجمعنا به مع النبيين والصديقين والشهداء والصالحين في أعلى عليين مع النبيين يا رب العالمين إنك ولي ذلك والقادر عليه. Oh Allah, have you give our sister full shifa يا رب العالمين. اللهم رب الناس مذهب البأس أشفي أنت الشافي لا شفاء إلا شفاؤك شفاء لا يغادر سقما. اللهم عافها بالعافية. اللهم اتحها بالصحة والعافية والمعافاة الدائمة في الدين والدنيا والآخرة. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم واغفر لنا إنك أنت الغفور الرحيم. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونتوب إليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله وصفيه وخليله وأمينه على وحيه ومبلغ الناس شرعا. ما ترك خيرا إلا دل الأمة عليه، ولا شرا إلا حذرها منه، فصلوات الله وسلامه وبركاته عليه وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كلام الله، وأحسن الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، وكل محدثة بدعة، وكل بدعة ضلالة، وكل ضلالة في النار. ثم أما بعد، أيها المؤمنون عباد الله، فإني أوصي نفسي وإياكم بتقوى الله، وهي وصية الله للأولين والآخرين. قال الله سبحانه وتعالى: ولقد وصينا الذين أوتوا الكتاب من قبلكم وإياكم أن اتقوا الله. وقال سبحانه: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء، واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام، إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم، ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أقول ما سمعتم وأستغفر الله لي ولكم، فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي كان بعباده خبيرا بصيرا، وهو الذي جعل الليل والنهار خلفة لمن أراد أن يذكر أو أراد شكورا. وعباد الرحمن الذين يمشون على الأرض هونا، وإذا خاطبهم الجاهلون قالوا سلاما. أيها المؤمنون، علينا جميعا أن نلتزم بآيات الله وبسنة رسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم، فقد كان هذا وصية النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لأصحابه في آخر خطبة خطبها. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم: إنه من يعش منكم فسيرى اختلافا كثيرا، فعليكم بسنتي وسنة الخلفاء الراشدين المهديين من بعدي، تمسكوا بها وعضوا عليها بالنواجذ، وإياكم ومحدثات الأمور، فإن كل محدثة بدعة، وكل بدعة ضلالة، وكل ضلالة في النار. أما بعد، فالله زاد محمدا تعظيما، وحباه فضلا من لدنه عميما، نادى العباد نداء صدق آمرا، صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد، وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم آت نفوسنا تقواها وزكها أنت خير من زكاها، أنت وليها ومولاها. اللهم اجعل عملنا كله في رضاك، واغننا برحمتك عمن سواك، وعمر قلوبنا بتقواك، واجعلنا نخشاك حتى نراك إلى يوم نلقاك. اللهم تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم، وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم، واغفر لنا إنك أنت الغفور الرحيم. اللهم أنت الله لا إله إلا أنت الغني ونحن الفقراء، وأنت القوي ونحن الضعفاء. أنزل علينا الغيث ولا تجعلنا من القانطين. اللهم الطف بنا فيما جرت به المقادير، ويسر لنا كل عسير. اللهم اغفر لنا ولوالدينا، إليك المصير. غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا. ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا. ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به. واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا، أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. اللهم لا تدع لنا في مقامنا هذا ذنبا إلا غفرته، ولا هما إلا فرجته، ولا دينا إلا قضيته، ولا عسيرا إلا يسرته، ولا كربا إلا نفسته، ولا مبتلا إلا عافيته، ولا مريضا إلا شفيته، ولا مريضا إلا شفيته، ولا مريضا إلا شفيته، ولا ميتا إلا رحمته، ولا ضالا إلا هديته، ولا تائبا إلا قبلته، ولا محتاجا إلا كفيته، ولا فقيرا إلا أغنيته، ولا سائلا إلا أعطيته، ولا مستوحشا إلا آنسته، ولا جبارا إلا بسطته، ولا مظلوما إلا نصرته، ولا ظالما إلا قهرته، ولا باقيا إلا قطعته، ولا مسافرا إلا حفظته، ولا غائبا إلا رددته، ولا طالبا إلا نجحته، ولا ممتحنا إلا وفقته، ولا أيما إلا زوجته، ولا حاجة من حوائج الدنيا والآخرة هي لك رضا ولنا فيها صلاح إلا أعنتنا وأعنتنا على قضائها يا رب العالمين. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. عباد الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. اذكروا الله يذكركم واشكروه على نعمه يزدكم ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون. وأنت يا مؤذن أقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
استووا استقيموا واعتدلوا تراسوا حاذوا بين المناكب والأقدام لا تدعوا فرجات للشيطان. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. سبح اسم ربك الأعلى الذي خلق فسوى والذي قدر فهدى والذي أخرج المرعى فجعله غثاء أحوى. سنقرئك سنقرئك فلا تنسى إلا ما شاء الله إنه يعلم الجهر وما يخفى ونيسرك لليسرى فذكر إن نفعت الذكرى سيذكر من يخشى ويتجنبها الأشقى الذي يصلى النار الكبرى ثم لا يموت فيها ولا يحيا قد أفلح من تزكى وذكر اسم ربه فصلى بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا والآخرة خير وأبقى إن هذا لفي الصحف الأولى صحف إبراهيم وموسى. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. والعاديات ضبحا فالموريات قدحا فالمغيرات صبحا فأثرن به نقعا فوسطن به جمعا إن الإنسان لربه لكنود وإنه على ذلك لشهيد وإنه لحب الخير لشديد أفلا يعلم إذا بعثر ما في القبور وحصل ما في الصدور إن ربهم بهم يومئذ لخبير. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. Again, please, if you can just come outside and follow down at the table. We're just trying to raise until about $10,000. So if anyone can come, inshallah, and whether you pay credit card, cash, check, or even on a pledge form level, please stop by the table. It's excellent.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Jazakallahu khairan, Sheikh Yasir, for coming
to visit us and delivering that beautiful bayan with excellent reminders. As Sheikh mentioned before, we have supported this project in the past. Many of you know Imam Isa Wood, who's also a good friend of ours. This is a very important project, a very dear project for us, and I highly urge you all to please support it as much as you can, as we know the tremendous amount of impact that every dollar that you give towards this project gives. So please see Sheikh Yasir on your way out and support this project as much as you can, inshallah. Due to the long weekend, all programs at ICCL, all activities at ICCL will be canceled, of course, for daily salah throughout the weekend. However, we will be having our Sisters Muslim one-on-one class held virtually on Sunday at 4 p.m., inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.